Hi guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. I'm Barbara.
I'm Prince.
And together we are the MGees.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you are all welcome to yet another video. Oh my god, it's been amazing. We thank you all for the love, for the shares, for the subscription. Let's hit 1K subscribers soon. Yeah, so thank you all for sharing our videos, for watching not just these ones but the podcast as well. The love is so massive and we are grateful. So if you have not watched the last video, please go and watch it. What did we even talk about in that video?
Juggling groups and
Yeah, how I juggled books and baby bump. Yeah, so go and watch it and just learn. Even if you are not traveling abroad, you are a career woman, you hope to be pregnant one day, you still need some of the ideas I shared there. Yeah, so go and watch it. Yeah. Wait, what are we talking about today?
Okay, so today we're talking about how we are navigating life as new parents.
Navigator.
Oh yeah, actually that was my GHS nickname.
Oh wow. You never told me.
Yeah,
Navigator. Oh
navigator.
my, what were you navigating?
I don't know, it
Oh,
just came to mind. I'm learning. I mean, everybody was choosing a nickname, so that was what came to my mind. Navigator.
I see.
Yeah.
So, well, this is another opportunity
Mhm.
to navigate. Yeah, so we're just going to go right in, share, subscribe, like, and yeah, comment as well. Okay, so you one of the videos you mentioned that you wanted to get pregnant right after marriage.
Yeah, give birth right after marriage. Yeah.
Did I say you wanted to get pregnant? No, like we
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah,
get
yeah,
pregnant, like
yeah,
you
yeah.
wished.
Yeah,
So
you got pregnant.
and
Yes.
that's how it has been. So
Yes.
how you expected it to be and how it's going now. Is it what you had in mind that okay, when we give birth in our first year, this is how things are going to be? Did you expect all the things that's happening now?
No. No way. I never imagined what we are going through now. I thought, yeah, having a kid would be exciting. And yes, it is. But, looking back and looking at the last 5 months, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. It's been challenging, one thing to the other. And it has not always been exciting as I imagined it to be. But it was worth it.
Oh wow. I see. Okay, so talking about challenge, what has been the most challenging experience you've had since a baby came?
Okay, the most challenging experience. Yeah, I think it has to do with the first week, the first couple of weeks that she arrived. Growing up, I never had a first-hand experience with kids at that level. Though I had been teaching in Sunday school, but it's 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, and all that. And yeah, someone will ask, but okay, you are the first child of your mother, and you have siblings after you. So what are you saying?
If you
Well,
can, but the age difference is so
yeah,
close.
the age difference is so close, and as a child. My dad was like, I never stayed in the house. I was always away playing with kids, fighting,
Roaming
roaming
ambassador.
about. I wonder how I became calm when I grew up.
It's God that stage you. You see, right now he's so quiet, so calm, so people think he's shy.
I wasn't like that at all. And so, yeah, I didn't have any first-hand experience when it comes to handling a child. I remember the first time I saw my baby, she was so tiny and I was so scared of even holding her. Like, I was so scared. I was looking at her lying in the crib. I was like, Jesus. I was scared. But then my wife encouraged me, so I was able to pick her up. And then she taught me a few things, how to handle the baby, how to feed her, how to even change diaper. I didn't know all those things, but yeah, I had to learn on the job, and I mean, she's been a fantastic teacher. Yeah, that sometimes, mothers now, sometimes they are a little bit hard. Yeah,
It's part of it.
they are
I'm a
protecting
trained
their
teacher.
race.
I've been to school 4 years to be taught as a teacher. What are you talking about? You need to apply
Ah,
different methods. Yeah. So
yeah, so so far so good. But what about you?
yeah, okay. So for me, unlike you, I've carried my sister's babies, a
Good
lot
for
of
you.
a lot of babies. I think one of my sister's child, it looked like I was the mother. The only thing he didn't do with me was suck my
Suck
breast
your
because I
breast.
didn't have any breast milk. So and it was so huge. Like it was such a huge baby. As the one carrying, I think I was in primary six by then. Or carry her, I wash her his napkins. Those days, I'm not sure diapers was even around or was that popular. So we
No,
use like
yeah.
napkins. We wash if they poo poo.
Hey, that one. Hey,
I washed
our
it.
mothers did well, pal. Like, yeah, they did well.
Yeah,
Yes.
call sheets, and so it's like every day you wash.
Wash
Sometimes you
napkins
wash
every
more,
day.
more you wash more than once a day because Charlie, when the baby poops, you can't leave it. Yeah, it's not like now you have diaper, just change and throw it away. So I've had that experience, but getting to the point where personally going to give birth, I really didn't know how things were going to be because back home in Ghana when you give birth, there are always like people around to
Oh.
help. So for me, I was kind of scared and I was having a lot of anxiety on when baby comes. How are we going to? Because it will be just me and my husband.
Mm.
And I told you I gave birth 2 days before my husband arrived in the States. So it was a whole lot of things. But I remember some people encouraging me. People had given birth before. Oh, I will be fine. I will know just what to do at the right time, a mother's instinct. And one person also mentioned that because I have that relationship with the Holy Spirit, it's a plus because the Holy Spirit is going
Yeah.
to
Wow.
direct me every step of the way. But for me, I thought she was just being nice. She just didn't want me to feel overwhelmed because I'm like, is that really it? I just didn't know how it's going to happen. I was having so many images. Like I didn't know it was going to be so overwhelming. But I
Mm.
would say what the person said, and a lot of people say, "Oh, you'll be fine. You just know what to do." I think it's working. It's happening. Yeah, it's not been easy. Like the sleep deprivation. Oh my god, it was not easy. So we spent a week in the house of the Gonus when we gave birth. So it's a Ghanaian couple here who already have a child, so they know the nitty gritties. So within that week, I had to learn how to bath the baby, carry her, like literally the
Yeah.
basics. Yeah, so that's where I learned all those things. After a week, we went back to our own apartment, and it was not easy. Like baby feeding round the clock. I was so exhausted. Yeah, then the baby is like every 2 to 3 hours, and sometimes it's even less than 2 hours. It's like though they say we should feed her every 2 to 3 hours, but sometimes the needs of the child may differ. Sometimes after 1 hour, 30 minutes, 1 hour, she's crying, and children, babies, whatever is happening to them, they cry. So you don't even know exactly whether she's hungry. But
Nice.
I think for the first few like weeks, we just didn't really know what to
Nice.
do. We tried to feed
Mm.
anytime she's crying. Sometimes she will not take it. We just don't know. We check if her diaper is dirty. It was a whole lot,
Mm.
and it wasn't like back home in Ghana. We had like I would have my mother there, my siblings to help out, small children to send around. It was just us, and we are all so new to this, so it wasn't easy. The sleep deprivation. I gave birth during spring break, and so I had to go back. So classes resumed the following week, but I had to take like 2 weeks of no thinking about class, no nothing because I was just barely surviving. So I couldn't add those things. So I think it wasn't really easy, that sleep deprivation, and even when I had to go back to classes, after 2 weeks. I couldn't go in person. I had to join on Zoom, but I had papers to write. It was not easy. It's just like I wish there was something like maternity leave for students. At that point, I really wish there was a worker that I could take like 3 months maternity leave and just like spend time with the child, focus. Because I had assignment deadlines coming. Oh my goodness, it was not funny. It was such a trying moment. But hey, survived.
Yeah, we survived. It wasn't easy at all, just as she was saying. I was talking to somebody and I was like, so why do they not train us on how to be parents? And the person was like, yeah, these things is based on experience, and no matter how you read about it in books and all, when you are faced with the reality, it's sometimes overwhelming, and it was.
Yeah, and every child was different. So
Yeah, every child is also different, and sometimes we're we're on YouTube, all the apps, trying to figure out, okay, when baby does inge, when she does inge, uh, what does it mean and all that. And looking back, sometimes we just look at ourselves
it's
and
just
we
so
laugh.
funny. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think another thing to that help in that process and still helps is the app I use for my baby, Glow
Yeah.
app. So you can literally log everything the baby does, playtime, sleep, feeding, and it has something. I think it's Chat GPT embedded. It's called Glow GPT or something like that. So you can ask questions about like baby, if your baby does this, what does it mean, and things like that, and give like advice per like the blogs and things that have been written in that
Yeah,
area.
every week.
Yeah, so it's really helped. And yeah, another app I use, Baby Center. So it shows you okay week by week development, month by month. So they were also really helpful. And there are mothers we know too, so we always reach out. And yeah, by God's grace, we are out of that phase. I was actually talking to a friend yesterday, and I think her baby is 2, 3 months, and the sleep deprivation is just so. It's just I was like, I've been there before. I mean, now baby is able to sleep through the night. She's currently asleep, yeah. So that's why we are here filming this video. Yeah. So we've talked about challenges a while. Now you mentioned at the beginning that it's been a part of it is exciting. So tell me about the exciting part.
Okay, the exciting part has, for me, has to do with facial expressions. I don't know how God creates kids, but then there's something about them. You just look at them and you begin to laugh. Sometimes I'll be tired, I'll be a little probably frustrated, but then when I carry baby and she looked at my face, you just make an expression, and just I'll be just laughing and we'll be laughing all around. And I'll be laughing so hard and I'll be like, wait, when did I transition from this state to that state? And it's always exciting to see the baby.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, like you said, sometimes like you think she's asleep, you put her down, she wakes up. I'm like, sis, mommy is tired. Mommy gotta catch some sleep. Like we used to do all night, and sometimes by 6 a.m. she's now asleep, and we are now all sleeping. Like it wasn't funny, but almost all the time you pick her up, and no matter how
Yeah.
tired you are, she will start smiling or make a facial expression. It's like
The expressions.
you're like,
Yes.
oh wow. So like he said, the whole frustration and tiredness will just like vanish for some time. As you watch her, you just be smiling. You see how she's sucking the breast. I'm like, who taught you how to suck breast? Like when she wakes up in the morning, how she'll be stretching
Ah.
those tiny hands and legs. I'm like, like who taught you all these things? So yeah, that was really exciting, and also seeing her hit her developmental goals. It's been amazing seeing her trying to. She's been trying to stand and literally walk for since she was like 4 months. She always
Yeah.
wants to. Right now, she hardly wants to sit, especially if she's on you. She wants to stand. If
Stand.
you're putting her down, so she sat down now, but she wants to get up. She wants to be walking. I'm like, sister, relax, relax. But it's amazing seeing her roll over. I think she started rolling over exactly when she was 4 months. That day she was 4 months. She was asleep. She woke up and her father was asleep. The way she turned, oh my god, it was so beautiful. I didn't want to record. I just wanted her to flow. And the next day, I told her father, and she was like, I want to see. And she was not doing it. So it was all fun. But later on, finally, he got to see her roll over. And now she so desperately wants
Mm,
to walk. I just don't know.
mm.
And she's so strong. So the prayers we've been praying that God should strengthen her spirit, soul, body. This girl has taken the
Yeah.
prayers so seriously. She's so strong. Like sometimes like be calming down. It's just so amazing seeing her do all those. And when she smiles and now she's able to laugh, it's just so, I don't know, it's just so beautiful. And she's so beautiful. Oh my god. She's such a pretty. When I look at her, my ovaries. My father will be fighting with me. Say your what? Your
My
semen.
semen.
Oh my god. I'm like, oh my god, my ovaries. And we've always been fighting about who she resembles. I think in the beginning,
Yeah, the
she
beginning
looked
was
like her
me.
dad. But
Yeah,
now we don't even
you
know. But
don't
I
even
think she looks
know.
like me.
No.
So we've just been fighting, don't know who she's. But I know last she'll look like me.
No.
Team Team Mom, please vote in the comment section. Who should she look like? Because I carried her 9 months in my womb. Why
That
should she resemble you? All the work I've done.
you're the direct now.
Did you carry her? So she's supposed to look like me. So if you want baby to look like me, vote in the comment section. Team mommy all
Uh,
the way. Nobody should say
Me, I
team
won't ask
daddy.
for anybody because I know definitely she will look like
No, team mommy.
me.
Yeah, so these are all some of the beautiful experiences we've had since she's been in our life. It's been 5 months of sleepless nights and sweet smiles.
Charlie, it's not funny. Oh. It's not funny. No.
Yeah, but the
It's not
ability to
funny.
just like work together and So now let's talk about the impact of baby on our marriage. How has her presence in our life impacted our marriage?
Okay. Concerning the impact, I think it has been a lot. And you know, when baby was 1 month, sometimes you will leave her and she will fall asleep on her own. When she got to 2 months, 3 months, you leave her in the crib and she will be crying and will be crying and will be crying. So you have to go back, pick her up, try to find relaxing ways to make her fall asleep and all that. And when she got to 4 months, we I also had to change the style of relaxation for her. And so one day I was just trying to make her relax, and I was thinking about it, and the Holy Spirit made me understand that that's the same way I have to discover my wife occasionally,
Mm.
because the woman I married a year and some months back is not the same woman now. And so if what worked for us last year is what I'm still trying to push on her this year, it might not work. And so just as with the baby, I have to always discover new ways of making her become ease. That's the same way I have to always find new ways of making love to my wife, a love language, and all those things. I have to occasionally discover who she is at that point. And I think that has been profound to me. And going by what SHS taught me, I've
By the way, SHS means Sweet Holy Spirit. If you don't understand SHS, it means you have not been watching the podcast. Go and watch. So SHS means Sweet Holy Spirit.
yeah, with a scenario that SHS used baby to teach me, I think it's been encouraging. It's more impactful. I'm able to now express love to my wife based on the condition or the state that she is in currently. Because women change. We married
Men
for
also change.
we all change. We all change. And so that's to you as spouse, whether you have kids or not, just know that your spouse will be changing. And so it is up to you to discover, okay, this is who my spouse is now currently. And currently, this will be the way I have to behave as a spouse towards her. And so that has been what SHS has been teaching me. And I've been
Yeah.
applying it in our marriage, and it's been working. Actually, now you'll be laughing, you'll be talking, she'll be laughing out hard. And in my head, I'll be very happy. Like, I'm getting it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a wonderful journey so far.
Yeah, talking about the things the Holy Spirit is using our baby to teach
Mm.
us. So for me, one thing I would say is I think in the beginning stages it was not easy, like we all mentioned, and sometimes you
Mm.
just and as a lady the hormonal changes postpartum and when I
Hmm.
started like the birth control methods, it made a whole lot of like hormonal
Maybe I'll
changes.
also touch on that.
So it wasn't easy. So it got to a point sometimes I'm just annoyed at him for no reason. Just
Oh.
like and or I'm just like frustrated, I'm
Mm.
just stressed. But one thing the Holy Spirit taught me was that I cannot be holding babe, and at this stage you hold her a lot. I cannot hold her whilst keeping malice or being bitter or just like mad at my husband or things like that. So it means that I always have to look for a way to solve whatever issues that is coming up, and mostly it helps when you communicate because sometimes the other party doesn't
Yeah.
even know anything about what's happening with you. So I realized that I cannot hold her in my arms, breastfeeding her, whatever had to do with her, whilst I'm mad, like angry, and also I had to learn to release those negative energies and replace it with positive energies. If I have to talk to my husband about it, just like have that conversation as soon as possible, not wait for
Yeah.
things to escalate because as a mom, baby will be feeding every 2 to 3 hours, changing diapers. So I will be around here a lot. So that's one of the things. Sorry, the Holy Spirit
Yeah.
helped me to do that. I cannot be carrying her at the same time having malice, bitterness. So it helped me
Yeah.
to deal
That
with
state
those.
will be rubbing off on her.
Yeah, that yes. So I didn't want her to carry. That's how childhood traumas and all those kind of things starts. It'll be just like um project our feelings, our bitterness and all that on them innocent children, and that's how they pick it up, and it's a whole lot of things. So yeah, that's one thing that really helped me. And one instance was that we're all new to this parenting thing, and I thought I had expectations that I had not even communicated then. I thought that I was pregnant with a baby. I carried it for 9 months, and for most part, like for the 7 months of the pregnancy, I was here in the States alone, no family member, no husband. And my husband came like 2 days after I gave birth. So ideally, I was thinking I've done like most of the work, and this time I need my husband to help me. I feel like I expected him to know it and just come to my rescue to help because the beginning was so rough. But I had not communicated that and was kind of trying to build some things in me, negative energy. But the Holy Spirit was like, no, you have to talk about it. So we had a conversation.
Yeah.
I remember we spoke about it like, I need help. I need help. And, sometimes we expect our partners to know certain things. Meanwhile, they're not in our head. And he was also very new to this whole thing. We all didn't
Not
know
that I
our
wasn't
way.
helping, no.
I think he was doing what he thought was best, but I knew the help I needed and how. So mostly I was the one trying to breastfeed her all the time because the milk was also not flowing a lot that I could pump. But it got to a point I had to learn or try to pump. Except when you pump, just small. So I have to be pumping so that even sometimes, maybe when I'm asleep and baby wakes up, he can feed the baby. And there are times where if there's no extra milk in a bottle or something and I have to breastfeed it, just like after that conversation, it was clear that I could wake him up to just like take baby, make sure she burps and puts her to sleep, while also catch some sleep. So if we didn't have that conversation, those bitterness and it will just build up. Meanwhile, he knew nothing about it. So
Yeah.
we spoke about it. I said my own part. He also shared, and that's how we're able to deal with it. So, and I think even before I gave birth, before you even came to the States, we had a conversation that we didn't want the baby to have any negative impact on our marriage. That if there is going to be an impact of hers on our marriage, it has to be positive.
Yeah.
Especially for me, as ladies, our hormones and all when it comes to like sex and things like that, we can be so off even after the baby is some like months old. But I made up my mind. I've read stories, I've heard people share how they allow those things to negatively affect their marriage. So we had a conversation about it, and I was determined to still see him as my husband and attend to him as my husband, and not use the baby as an excuse, because it can be so easy. I'm tired and all. Of course, that's after weeks after I gave birth. Yeah, we had to resume all those lovey things, married people things, single people. Close your eyes. Yeah, so I had to make up my mind that I wasn't going to let the baby come between us. He was my husband first before the baby came. So these were all things, discussions we had before. And if you're a lady, I'm encouraging you. You may be tired and all, but after your postpartum, like the doctor has cleared you that you are okay for sex and things like that. Don't just use the baby as an excuse not to attend to your husband. It will not be easy, but see
Mm.
it as he's the husband before the child came. And so yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm the husband before the child came. And talking about the postpartum stuff and the hormonal changes, after we had those conversations, I was literally mostly doing everything, doing the laundry, cooking, feeding baby because she was bleeding at that time a lot, and I had to step in to do most of these things. And you do all these things, and yeah, at that time too, you were not having sex. I mean, the lady is bleeding. How can you have sex? We were not doing anything of that sort. And so you would do the laundry, cook, wash, take care of her, everything. And then she would just put on an attitude. I'm like, what is this now? In my head, not to her actually, not to in my head. I'll be fighting in my head. And so I had to read a lot at that time, get to know what's happening with her body, get to know what's happening in her mind, the hormones and all that. And so as a husband with a wife at that time, when it occurred to you or when it happens to you, you need to be more understanding. You need to have a large heart that can accommodate many of those emotional stuff and post postpartum stuff and all that. Because if you don't do so, you'll be taking offense at any little thing that she will do, and that will be bad for you, for her, and for the baby. She talked about childhood trauma. I never knew I had a trauma, and it was unconscious, obviously. So when baby was a month or two, I'll hold her, play with her, feed her, and all that. But immediately her mom comes for her and begins to feed her, I'll be um, experiencing this anger, and I was like, where is this thing coming from? So I didn't figure it out at first, but it kept on happening. And yeah, I didn't tell my wife as at that time because guys always want to figure things out before they tell their spouse, which is always good.
Well, it depends. But
So
let's talk about it.
yeah, it was the Holy Spirit that made me realize that okay, this is childhood trauma. And he took me back to many years ago, and he taught me things as to where all these things were coming from. And so after he told me all these things, he told me to tell my wife that this is what I'm experiencing. I should tell her. I was adamant at first, but you can't fight with the Holy Spirit now. And so I told my wife, and yeah, she helped me overcome all these childhood trauma, and now when baby is with her or she's with me, I don't feel that thing. I don't feel all those things anymore. So yeah, baby has been a blessing, and she has revealed a lot about us
I
that
know.
we didn't even know that they were part of us. So that's one of the blessings of having a baby. Okay, so I want to ask my wife one question. You know, in one of our videos, she said she wanted to wait for 2 years before we try making babies. And obviously, we knew that wasn't God's plan. And so baby had to come right after we got married. So, how has the bonding been for you since baby came?
Yeah, so before I go to that question, you was talking about childhood trauma before. Yeah, there were, I also didn't know. I mean, I tried to work on some of these things, but I didn't know there still were some childhood trauma that I had not dealt with. So the initial stages of like baby's arrival, the Holy Spirit also dealt with me, made me pinpoint all those things. It's like, no, if you don't deal with these things,
Hmm,
you're going to transfer it to your baby,
yeah.
which is not good. I mean, she's innocent coming from.
Hmm,
So he made it clear that I had to deal with it. I remember talking to my husband about it. We talked through it, we prayed through it, and by God's grace, all these things were able to go, we're able to release them. So
yeah.
yeah, it was also such a blessing because we are parents and this is an innocent child. I always say that we are
Yeah.
nannies. We are nannies.
Nannies of God's child.
The baby is a yes, a God's child. So we are just nannies. So we go according to what the father of the child wants us to do. Talking about the whole wait for 2 years or a year. Of course, we when we got to know what the Holy Spirit would have us do, and he also had a different plan, then we talked through it and we agreed on what like the Holy Spirit would have us do, which was in a way in line with his own plan. Yeah, so I made peace with that. And yeah, I just like when baby came and all, honestly, I wouldn't change anything about how things happened, like giving birth in my first year of marriage. I wouldn't change anything about it. And as for the bonding thing, I have that mindset even before I met my husband. And meeting him, things change. So or even before I got to now be getting pregnant my first year, our focus was just like building a solid friendship.
Yeah.
And so we built it to the extent that though we have a baby now, we are not going apart or divide or something, or the only thing connecting us is not just the
And
baby.
oh yeah, sure,
We
sure.
have that strong relationship. So I would say we bonded.
This one is a big deal.
So we really bonded and all before even baby came during the pregnancy, all the time that we were away, even that long distance does not take away that opportunity to bond. So I think it's a conscious effort we made. And now we need to be a team, be on the same side to
Yeah.
even help take care of the baby. Sometimes, like I mentioned earlier on, I feed the baby and the daddy will burp her and things like that. So we need to be a team. So taking care of the baby, sometimes the facial expressions, her smiles, her laughter, it gets us all laughing and smiling. And so we are even bonding, taking care of her together
Yeah.
because like we are best of friends. And so we use every opportunity, whether she's asleep, she's awake, to just like spend time with each other. And I think we've also learned to prioritize each other the more because we
Yeah.
know there's somebody who can change our plans. She has her own plans.
Ah.
So the
Hmm.
least time we get to ourselves, maybe when she's asleep, that we're doing Netflix and chill, we're just cuddling in the couch, whether listening to Alpha
Um,
Hour praying, like services, just like watching movies, talking about it. Even when she's not asleep, sometimes we would just put her in her play mat and in a gym play mat and she'll just be playing or she'll just be on us and all of that the three of us will be cuddling together. So I think it's also opened our eyes. We are always looking for new ways and exciting
yeah.
ways to increase the bond we have, whether sexually, whether just by talking. So I think that this, I won't change anything about how things has happened. The bonding
Yeah.
is bonding,
Oh yeah, the
actually.
bonding is bonding. You know, sometimes you want to visit heaven, and yeah, I know you understand. You want to visit heaven, and maybe we just wake up. You mess everything up. But, it's
Just laugh
good. Yeah, we
it
just
over.
laugh it over, and then we are good to go. So yeah, my dear wife, do you have any advice for incoming parents or people who are on their way to having their child?
Okay, what I would say is you are a team. You are a team. Whether you find yourself in a situation where it's just the two of you in a foreign country, or you are with your partner in the same country you are from, you have family and friends around, still make the effort to work as a team. Even if she goes to her parents' house or her mother comes, mostly just for like 3 months. It won't be forever. So the husbands, please, I will entreat you all to engage yourself in the raising up of your children. It's not only the mother's
Mm,
duty. Please, yeah, that's one thing I really admire about my husband. You know, coming from a society where like taking care of a baby and all is left to a mom, he's really helped and it's been amazing. And it's not just because we are stuck in a foreign country, there are no family members here, but it's something he wants to do. He wants to take active part in the life of his child. And so I'm very grateful for that. And I always tell him, thank you so much, babe, for doing that. So
you're
it's a
welcome.
teamwork. Don't leave it to the other person alone. And always communicate, because sometimes, most of the time, you don't even know what both of you are doing,
Mm,
especially if it's your first time, even
yeah.
subsequent one. So always communicate. Don't put anything on you. Don't harbor bitterness and all those things, which may project onto the innocent child. So, for the sake of the child, be mindful of what you are watching around them, the words you say around them. You may think, oh, this is just a child, but they are picking things into their
Mm,
soul and spirit. So, be mindful of all this. Pray. Don't only pray when they are asleep. Baby really messed up my prayer time. Beginning, it's like, and it's time to pray, and it's like, okay. So I normalize praying with her,
yeah.
so it also helps to build her up
Yeah.
spiritually. So sometimes our prayer time,
Mm,
she's not asleep, so we just bundle her, all of us cuddling, praying together. So yeah, whatever you would have your daughter see, your baby son see, try to do them now. Let them see you praying for them and all that. It may not be easy, but don't just focus on the negative aspects or the stress. Look at the brighter side. Look for opportunities to always smile and just like have fun being a
yeah.
parent.
Yeah, how fun being a parent. And also to the husbands, I'm a male, so I can speak to the husbands. Be more understanding, be more open. You should be willing to love your wife sacrificially in this season. Yeah, because most of the things you do, you may take offense at it if you really take it to heart. But be more open, be more understanding, love her unconditionally, and try to do your best for her and for the baby, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, so thank you all for watching.
Hmm?
If I know parents or we have an experience, feel free to share with us in the comment section. Just like keep sharing this video, tell us what you think, whatever lesson you took from it, whether you're married, single, but hoping to have a child one day. Just drop them in the comment section, and our email is always on our page. If you want to talk to us personally, feel free to email us and let's get talking. So yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Till then, keep hope and faith alive. And yes, congratulations to anyone who's pregnant, who is yet to be pregnant, who has given birth, who is a no parent. It's not easy, but we will go through this together.
Yes.
See you again. We are the MGees, and
MGees.
that's on. Period.
Yeah.